Hello and welcome to EBAday 2023 in Madrid. I'm Hannah Wallace, and joining me now in the studio is Martijn Stoker from JPMorgan. Martijn, thank you very much for taking the time out of the event to come and speak with us.
Great being here, thank you.
Great to have you here and looking forward to our discussion today. We're talking about the changing payments landscape, and what I want to start with is some of those big trends that you think businesses should be taking a closer look at.
No, absolutely, and it's also kind of confirmed with a lot of the discussions that we're having here over the last 2 days, right? In my view, there are kind of three key topics that clients want to discuss. First of all, there's been a massive shift in the whole payment industry. But within that payment industry, there are kind of three key elements that a lot of our clients are highlighting. First, still around the whole macroeconomic environment, right? With inflation going up, we see rates going up. Not 100% sure how all the central banks are going to tackle the quantitative tightening cycle. So there might be, limited liquidity out there.
Yes.
That's a lot of concern, a lot of questions from the clients. Secondly, we get a lot of questions as well around technology, right? So how technology is changing the whole payment industry as a whole, right? Not only the standard, Swift messaging types, but mostly across the new technologies, all the way up to, real-time payments and blockchain technology as an example. And thirdly, a lot of discussions around changing business models. Right? So where in the past often it was just business-to-business type of payment, it's now becoming more business to consumer and consumer to consumer type of activities that kind of change the way a lot of our clients are operating.
That's right. So tell us, how is it and how are those trends impacting those business strategies, but also how is JPMorgan placed to help those businesses navigate that shift as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important as a firm to not only have the technology, but also have the experience, right? So technology itself is one element, but I think experience is super important as well. The experience of how to navigate the financial system, how to navigate the need for liquidity. Don't forget, at the end of the day, before and after every payment, you have a liquidity position, right? So managing that liquidity and really rethinking the way you manage liquidity and the way, rethinking your payments business as well is super important. So having that knowledge, having the expertise next to the technology and the fortress balance sheet at the end of the day,
yes,
all these elements help, and all these elements are also super important.
And what about growth and resilience? Because there are some challenges there, and they get spoken about a lot at EBAday. So what are some of those challenges then?
Look, at the end of the day, there's been a massive growth, and next to that you see a lot of new technology coming up. So they're bound to be, if I just think about the whole ISO implementation as an example, I think it's an incredible step forward, but of course it creates some friction. But at the end of the day, I think everybody will work through that, and then we end up in a much better spot than where we were in the past. But again, it's important to work with the right partners, to have that experience, and to be able to share that knowledge and experience with your clients is super helpful.
And that brings me to the call to action. What's the advice here? What should be the response to those challenges?
Really rethink your payments business, right? Payments are so much more than just pay in, pay out activity. You have your liquidity management, but you have your working capital, you have commerce solutions, and everything ties together. And you need to work with a bank or with a partner that actually understands that complete interconnectivity, that is able to provide the technology, that's able to provide the experience, the expertise to help you through that whole journey as your business models change significantly. And that's complex, but that's also where the opportunity lies. If you do that well, if you can stay ahead of the curve of these macroeconomic developments, on these technology changes, and on these operating model changes, if you do that well, then you'll end up with a very successful business.
Some sound advice to end on there, Martijn. Thank you so much for sharing your insights today. I'll let you get back out there so you can share them with the rest of the delegates, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much.